What is going on, everyone? It's AP over here at Rumpier Sports. We're bringing to you once again the Strokes Gain Show. I'm here with my two main guys. We got Hoop, we got Uncle T. Hoop, what's going on, man? How was your week last week?
Yeah, everything's going well. Last week I had a good week. It should have been better. I mean, it really should have. I needed Spieth obviously, and it's all the timing of it. If you say Spieth is 10th place going into round 4 and he finishes second, you're going to be excited. But when Spieth goes into that final round looking like he's going to win and the betting favorite, the fact that he finishes in second is a little disappointing. But I was way over the field on Spieth. Like I said, still had a good week. This week, though, I mean, it's tough. I mean, at first glance, obviously we'll go through and hit up all the different tiers, but man, there's a lot of guys at the top, and there's not a ton of cheap guys, but we'll go through, break it all down. A lot of changes to this course as well that Uncle T will touch on. So it's going to be a fun week. I have a feeling this is going to be the course is going to play pretty tough.
Yeah, I agree. Last week was good. I think we were really close. I know I had a couple squads up there, and where I had Spieth and Kokrak in my builds, and the other pieces didn't pan out, but it is what it is. Had a good week. Uncle T, how was your week last week? You double dip. We got you on here. We let you talk. You said your piece. It was very good, and then I pulled up the Wednesday show. They don't let you talk. I mean, what is that? They don't want winners or what? It's hurtful, man.
Yeah, first off, I don't appreciate coming out of the 2-hole, but I'm going to do it because I like both of you guys. You're my guys.
You forced my hand, Uncle T. You double dip. So I got to send it to Hoop. Yeah. Just kidding, man. No, how was your week last week? Did you make some money? It had to be a decent week.
Hey, and just on a side note, before you get into it, if you show up for a major, you can bat leadoff. You can definitely bat leadoff if you show up for a major show.
Yeah, I mean, last week I was just sitting there again. We had a good show on Tuesday last week. Wednesday, I'm listening to Wednesday guys, and I got called out by JSU and Big T and said, "Where's Uncle T at?" And I didn't appreciate getting called out. So they said, "No way, he's coming on back-to-back nights." So again, I didn't appreciate that, and I ended up having to, kind of defend myself and go on the show. So that's kind of how all that came about.
And then they don't let you talk. They call you out. So they call you out, but then they don't even let you talk. You had some nice winners last week too.
Yeah, it was a struggle. Yeah, it was a struggle. But that's how that went. But as far as the week last week, it was a frustrating one for me. I mean, I broke even, actually. I didn't win or lose. I mean, I think I ended up maybe cashing 2 of my 5 or maybe 3 of my 5 mint cash. It was frustrating because the 2 main teams I had that were 6, well, that would have been 6 of 6 through. I had 2 6 of 6 through, but they weren't, my better builds. Bramlett is the one. I don't know how I ended up getting on him late Wednesday. It might have been that Wednesday crew. Got me on Bramlett.
Let's shut the show off. He was a notebook play.
Yeah, Bramlett
let you down too.
Yeah,
he was the Wednesday play. He was definitely not the notebook play.
See, that's the problem when the Wednesday crew steals the Tuesday notebook. Okay, that's what we need to follow now. When the Wednesday crew,
I forgot he ended up
Tuesday notebook play. We need to be off the notebook play. I got it figured out now. All right.
Man.
Yeah, but
the notebook play is better this week. I promise. We have 2 completely mispriced guys.
Nope, we got our notebook ready. We got it ready to go here. So.
But completely shit the bed. It was
but guys, the frustrating part was for me not that my 2 5 of 16s I had Spieth with Hoffman on the 5 of 6 without Bramlett that was doing really well, and like Hoop said, we needed Spieth to really finish that off on Sunday. And one of the groups I had the 4 of 6 through, where I did have a couple miscuts, I had Kokrak. So it was kind of a frustrating kind of a combination. I just couldn't get kind of up in there with the right combos. And obviously, like I said, Bramlett let me down. So it was actually a frustrating week for me. But looking at this field this week and everything that's surrounding it, it's usually a great tournament anyway. It's one of my favorites, Jack's Place, but it's a completely different golf course this year. And it'll be fun to break it down with you guys the next hour or so.
Yeah. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us to keep this free for all of you each and every week. So we had We had some members win. Again, if you are a member and if you want to get shout out, use the hashtag members never win. We got T Morris, 1792. He won $50K NBA. Phenomenal build. I saw that the other day. I think I saw that. I was by the pool sipping on a nice drink. And yeah, you know, he shipped $50K. So, I mean, that's just huge. And I know we've had solid screenshots each and every night. I know we had some good golf ones too. And I think we're going to bring the heat again this week. If you're not a member, and speaking of heat, use the code RPS Heater 25. That's going to get you 25% off your first payment here over at Run Pure Sports. Uncle T, I'm going to send it back to you. We know that, you know, as you were just talking and as we were talking before the show started, as Jon Rahm was finishing up last year, they were literally tearing up the greens, tearing up the course, and, you know, they have a little redesign going. Talk to us a little bit about the course. What do you expect anything to be different from last year? I mean, is there anything that you're looking at specifically?
Yeah, I mean, if we go by traditionally, this course usually plays tough. I mean, it's usually one of the tougher scoring condition courses. So that being said, last year, as everybody knows, they had the back-to-back weeks of tournaments on tour at the Memorial. The workday, or workbench as we call it, but the workday was the week prior to the Memorial, and they set it up. Again, Snyder and I was going back and forth earlier today. I think they set it up literally like a putt-putt course, in my opinion. Last it was so easy. Morikawa won -19. He beat JT in the playoff. Now, obviously, I'm kidding about the putt-putt course, but it was definitely an easier setup last year for the workday. Morikawa won that. And then what they did after that, they more or less let the course go. Like they didn't cut the rough. They didn't do anything from that last, you know, from the week to week. So the Memorial played, and it was a completely different golf course. I mean, Jon Rahm ended up winning at -9. I think Ryan Palmer was second at -6. So it played completely different. Then they get the whole new redesign, like we were talking pre-show. I think all but 4 greens will be, you know, reshaped in some way. You know, as far as that goes, I think they've added rough, which again, people are going to think that it's not going to be a good setup for Bryson, and we'll talk about that as we go. But it's a par 72 still. It's depending on where they put the tee boxes, 7,500 yards. So it's definitely a long layout. And I think off of the redesign, they added another 100 yards from last year. So that being said, strokes gained around the green, I think will be very key. Strokes gained approach, you know, Morikawa definitely fits that bill as far as those 2 items. I don't think putting will mean a whole lot here as far as like, you know, in the chain of command as far as things we're looking at, but clearly you got to putt well. But I don't think it's going to be a huge knock this week if you don't putt the golf ball very well. So the closing stretch, guys, 15, the par 5 is a gettable par 5. Most of these par 5s they've got to score at. 16, 17, 18 play 3 of the 4 toughest holes on the golf course. With a par 3, par 4, par 4 to end it. And if you guys remember, Jon Rahm on 16th last year at the Memorial Tournament is when he hit that ball left of the green in the rough, and he chipped in for birdie. And then later was to find out that he moved the ball, you know what I mean, a little bit, got the 2-stroke penalty. It didn't matter in the outcome, but so that's a tough stretch. You got the tough par 3 there, and then again, 2 tough finishing holes. So I look for this to be, again, some people around the industry, I was hearing some things on podcasts yesterday and today that they still think it'll be in the 13, 14, 15 under range, and it probably will be. I think they're going to be able to score a little bit on here. Now, the new greens, I'll finish up by saying these new greens that they put in, you know, usually they're going to play fast and firm, which is how it played last year. So from that standpoint, fast and firm on these new greens, you know, I don't know, play what you want into it. I think they are all now Bermuda greens, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of how I got it, boys. That's my breakdown.
Yeah, one little tidbit to add. It looks like they're going to get a ton of rain Wednesday. It looks like the course is going to be playing soft. I went in, we're working on I see Snyder working on the playbook right now. I added Rory up there up top. You know, if the course is playing you know, nice and wet, it's usually benefits a guy like Rory. But how we do it each and every week, we're going to go tier by tier, starting with the studs up top. I'm going to start with you, Hoop. Talk to me about this top range and what you're doing up here. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I usually have some pretty strong convictions at the top with what I want to do, but honestly, this week I think this is the toughest range for me to figure out what I want to do with. I mean, we've been playing Spieth. We got back on Spieth a while ago. It's been going well, but man, 11-3 now. You're paying the full tag for Spieth in a loaded field. But honestly, if you ask me right now who I think is the best golfer on the PGA Tour, I'd tell you it's probably Jordan Spieth, the way he's been golfing lately. So I don't know if I can pay the 11-3. I think if I'm going all the way up, Bryson, Rahm, Spieth, if I'm deciding between these three, it's going to be Rahm at 11-1. Won this last year, had a couple little, bumps in the road. The Wells Fargo, he missed the cut. He was 34th at the AT&T Byron Nelson, but bounced back at the PGA Championship with a T8. And once again, it was kind of like a backdoored T8. I mean, he's kind of become notorious for that, where he's out of contention and then he comes in and just fires this elite round 4. He did the same thing at the Masters to kind of backdoor into a top 5. If you could ever get anything going in the first few rounds, I really think he has a chance to win some events. And, this is a spot that the course obviously should fit him very, very well. So I kind of lean him at the top. I've been on Bryson a lot lately. I think we all kind of have. But I don't know. I don't think I can pay you're paying a full price tag now, 10-9. The results are the variance in the results are all over the place. I mean, 3 out of his last 4 events, he hasn't been better than T38. The one event he has, Wells Fargo, he finished 9th. Gains all over the place. I think very low ownership. So if you're a Bryson person, you don't need to go bonkers to get over the field. I think he's going to have very, very low ownership. Rory, and I don't know, 10-6 for Rory. Obviously had to win at the Wells Fargo, sucked, back to sucking again at the PGA Championship, couldn't make a putt. I'm inclined to not play Rory this week. I like a lot of guys in this next range that we'll talk about. Morikawa at 10-4. Again, he finished 14th last week. Had a really disappointing round 3, like really disappointing. If he fired anything decent on Saturday, he would have been maybe not in contention, but really probably would have finished in that top 5 pretty easily. 10-4 for him. I think I'm going to have to pass on. The guy I think I like the most up here is probably Justin Thomas at 10-2. It's just a nice price tag for JT. Is the cheapest in this range. Again, though, the results have not been good for him. I mean, dating back to the Wells Fargo, I mean, even further, you go back since the Masters, he hasn't been better than 13th place, and that's just not good enough. So maybe I'll reverse course. I don't know. I need you guys to sell me on something up here because I don't really have strong convictions. I have strong convictions in this next range and every other range we're going to talk about, but this top range, I really don't have a strong conviction. I guess as it stands now, the guy I like the most is probably Rahm, but I don't have a strong conviction outside of that. So I'm going to need your guys' help this week.
Yeah, very good. And I do think up top, the decisions that we make here are key because I don't know when I go down and I look at these other ranges, it gets nasty pretty quick. So I do think we need to be smart with who we play up top. Uncle T, let me send it over to you. What are you doing with the 10K and up range this week?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys that this is definitely a tougher decision-making range this week than we normally have. Usually we have some pretty strong conviction on a guy or two up top. This week, again, it like for the reasons Hoop mentioned, it's kind of a tough tough to figure out. The one thing I do know is Spieth at 11-3, we've all been on him. He's been playing some great golf, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it. 11-3. When you got all these guys, like Hoop said, in a loaded field, I'm going to pass on him. Jon Rahm, I could easily see going back to back. He's been up and down a little bit. He does have 3 top 10s his last 5 starts. And again, I think I like playing Jon Rahm on tougher courses. That's just me. And this is going to be a long course. If he can drive the ball straight and keep it in the fairway, I think John Rahm's got a great chance to go back-to-back this week. So I do like him. The Bryson thing is going to be interesting because he is coming in. I'm seeing about 9% or so ownership. So at this point, I'm probably not going to have him. But again, depending on how we're going to be able to build build our teams from guys down below, if I come up and I'm able to land on Bryson, I'm not going to be disappointed at 9% ownership. He won here in 2018. He had the surprising miscut here last year, again, when the course played a lot tougher. So I'm going to wait and see on him. Again, if I land on him, he'll be a last piece for me. But I'd rather go down to Justin Thomas. I don't think I'm going to play Rory, but AP, you told me that, with the rain coming and such, I may be able to get on board with Rory. If that's the case, he has a high ball flight and can hit it, obviously pretty far. So I might maybe switch off from possibly Bryson to Rory. Morikawa, I'm just not going to play him. I know Schneider doesn't want to hear it, but I just can't do it. He's going to be probably he's probably going to be the highest owned guy in this grouping, maybe almost 20%, but I just can't do it. He wanted the work day here. Again, when it was an easier course. The following week when it was tougher, he finished 48th. Not that has a whole lot of bearing this week, like we mentioned with the new course setup, but you can't play everybody up here. And at 10-2, Justin Thomas, other than the cheap price tag and possibly maybe a cash game lock, possibly, or real close to at that price tag, he's only 13% is what I'm seeing. It's pretty tasty. He hasn't had a top 10, like you mentioned, since the Players. So it's definitely, kind of a tough sell, if you will, to click that button. And I thought when I first looked up at ownership, I thought he'd be closer to 18, 19, 20%. So 13%, if it stays there, and if that's true, I'd have a hard time not playing Justin Thomas, and so for me up top, without kind of going, kind of over the same things you said, I like Rahm a lot. I don't know I'll probably go either Bryson or Rory. If my build takes me there, I'm going to be out on Morikawa, and I like Justin Thomas.
Yeah. All good thoughts. I agree quite a bit. Like my thing up top, I can't play Spieth at 11-3. I do agree with what Hoop said. When I was watching that final round, though, we saw some of the old Spieth come back. Like he was shanking it off the tee. There were signs that he didn't look as comfortable as he did the first few days. And I expected him to close it out against Kokrak there on Sunday, and he didn't get it done. I'm not paying 11-3 for him if he can't get it done at his home course, hometown narrative, all that stuff. Doesn't mean I'm not going to play him again this year, because I do think he's back. I do think he's playing good, but we got to pick and choose where we're going to play him at. Same goes for Rahm. He obviously a life-changing event, having a kid. We finally, put up a nice T8 there at the PGA. I get it though. Like I probably would play him over Bryson right now. Like something's up with Bryson. Like I don't know. I'm a Bryson guy. I'm not like anti-Bryson or anything like that. He obviously won here. He's very good on par fours. That's one thing I'm looking at this week. He ranks third in par four scoring. That's one of the reasons why I'm semi-interested in him. I just, if you're given, I see in the chat, people are like, JT's broken. JT won the Players, man. We live in such a, what did you do for me today? World. That is the edge that you're going to get in DFS, okay? Just because he sucked last week or the week before, you're like, oh, he's trash. He sucks. I mean, it's great. He won the Players this year. I mean, come on, man. He's probably working on
the Players win was off a rough stretch too. I mean, he's one guy that kind of, when he bounces back, he bounces back and wins. It's not like he gradually starts getting his game back. When he makes the full comeback, it's usually for a win. And that's kind of what happened at the PGA Championship, because he wasn't playing amazing going into it. Or not the PGA Championship, the Players. He had 2 out of his previous 4 events. He had missed the cut, and then he comes to the Players and wins. So when he bounces back, he bounces back strong.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I agree with all of that. But for me in this range, I want the 2 guys that have wins on their record recently, which, I mean, the Players, I think it's somewhat recent, it's within the last couple of months. The other guy's Rory. So I probably am fading Spieth, Rahm, and Bryson. Rory obviously won the Wells Fargo, a course that he's very familiar with. I love the fact that this course is going to be, it's going to be wet, playing long. That benefits a guy like Rory. He did look great at the PGA. The thing that we got to remember though is he was basically out of it, and we need Rory to be in it. And then he gets motivated. He gets that hop in his step. He's bouncing up and down on the fairways, and he gets that confidence with him. And he knew he was out of it with PGA. And like, if he's not in it, sometimes these guys just, they don't necessarily care about that high finish. A guy like Rory, he wants the win. And so I feel like when he's in contention is when you want to get on him, or you want to have him, obviously. And he just didn't have it at the PGA. I love how this course sets up for him. I think it's a one that I think he's going to end up being lower on too. Like this top range, what you're going to see when we get to Thursday and we're looking at MME exposures, you're going to see a lot of these MME pros get even with the field, or maybe slightly overweight, slightly underweight, and they're going to have all of these guys because they don't know what decision to make. What we have to do, right, wrong, or indifferent, we just got to make our stance. So for me, I'm fading Bryson, fading Rahm, fading Spieth. I will have Rory. I will have Justin Thomas. And I got Snyder in my DM trying to sell me on Morikawa. So this is a ball striking place. Tiger Woods is a ball striker. He obviously has done very well here. Man, it's Colin Morikawa keeps creeping back in. But I really want two guys in this range. And so it's going to be a tough cut because, I would like to cut four of these guys for my own player pool. As it stands right now, it's Justin Thomas 1, Rory 2 for me. Uncle T, let me kick it to you. Did you have a 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, I do. But a couple quick things, AP, of what you mentioned there. One, do we ever know Schneider not to play Morikawa?
I mean, he's been
the answer
right.
to that
man.
is I can't recall the last time.
This kid is good. He doesn't hurt you. 14, 8, 7, 18, and it's a ball striker course. Like, yeah. I might be hopping on board with Snyder. This kid, he just doesn't miss shots. He sucks at putting, but he never misses. Like, he doesn't miss fairways, doesn't miss greens. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'll say this: if he putts to a 0 for 4 rounds, right? If he's just level with everybody on the putting green, he's going to be in contention. There's no doubt about it. It's just when he loses strokes, 2-3 strokes on the greens is when he has the finishes that are outside the top 10. And the other thing is, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but a couple weeks ago, if you think about back when Rory was struggling going into the Wells Fargo, he was all the way down to 10K. I feel like it could be a potential similar situation with JT. We thought about, I didn't. I know maybe you guys did. I can't recall. You bought back in on Rory at that low price tag, thinking that, again, he's going to turn it around, and he did. I kind of feel that could be this week with JT, right? He's all the way down to 11 or 10-2. He's used to being at 11-2 at least. It could be a situation like that. So for that reason, I'm going to go actually JT number 1 in this group, and I'm going to go Rahm number 2. I'll be anxious to hear if you guys agree with that or not.
Yeah, I like it. Unfortunately, I was not one that was on Rory during that comeback week. I know a few of them. I know Snyder was. I think he loves Rory. But Hoop, did you have a 1 and 2 in this range?
I mean, like I said, I don't feel super confident in this range as it stands now, which is it's subject to change. But it's Rahm and JT, so same guys as Uncle T.
Gotcha. Hoop, I'm going to keep it with you. We got a 9K range where I think there's a lot of viable plays in here, and then it gets ugly pretty quickly. So talk to me about what you're doing in the 9K range.
Yeah, so this is where I have some stronger convictions. The first one's right at the top, Victor Hovland. I just think Hovland is on the cusp of becoming like a top 5 guy, like week to week, like overall in tour. So I mean, the 9-9, he's the 7th most expensive guy. I'm definitely going to be on Hovland. I like his game. I think this course sets up well for him. Just a strong play for me at 9-9. The one decision point in this range, though, for me is Xander versus Cantley, and I feel like I have to choose one of them. I feel like I can't play both. Now, maybe when it comes to roster construction time, I figure out I can play both. If I can play both, I'll probably do it. I think Cantley is another guy that he's just too good to continue on with this bad stretch. And we finally saw some positivity at the PGA Championship. I think he builds on that. And, all facets of his game were out of whack. But at the PGA Championship, he kind of got everything back. And he's just not – the putting has just been so bad. Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but just based on the eye test, like, he can't make a damn putt. He's too good of a player to continue on the stretch of bad play. I think the PGA Championship, it wasn't super impressive, but 23rd, solid all across the board, every round, nothing too bad. I think he uses that as a stepping stone and kind of gets his game back in form. So probably be on him. And I don't know if I can play Xander too. So maybe I'm just off Xander. Corey Connors. I've played Corey Connors, I think, basically every single week since the beginning of January, and I'm going to continue to do so. Like, there's no reason not to play him. And people continue to make excuses for reasons not to be on him, but he just makes every single cut. He has very solid finishes. His worst finish and basically this year was the 43rd at the Wells Fargo. I don't know what more you'd want out of a guy. Now, these are smaller greens. He struggles a little bit around the green, I guess. Who the hell knows? I don't give a shit. I'm playing Corey Connors. Tony Fino, I've always been a Tony Fino guy. It pained me the last few weeks to not be on him, but I've seen enough now in the last few weeks to think his game is closing into being back. And, the 20th at the Charles Schwab last week, he was 8th at the PGA Championship. He had that 10th place at the Masters, but did miss a cut at the Wells Fargo. I think he rounds back into form. And if he's back into form, 9-2 is just way too low for Tony Fino. So I'm going to finally hop back on board with my boy Tony Fino this week. And it feels good because I really do like Tony Fino. The rest of these guys, though, I'll be off. Matsuyama, I haven't really played him since the Masters. It hasn't hurt me. I just like too many other guys in this range. Patrick Reed, we're not playing, or I'm not playing Patrick Reed, and then Scheffler as well. I'm just not playing Scotty Scheffler, but those other guys I'm feeling pretty damn good about. Like I said, I got to figure out what to do with the Cantley Schauffele situation, but as of now, I think I'm going to be on Cantley and probably off Xander.
Yeah, so a few comments. I was on Fino pretty heavy last week, and his putter sucked. He lost almost 5 strokes putting, and everything else about his game was actually really good. And that's what was frustrating. And even what I even love about it is on Twitter, he came out and made fun of himself, posting a video putting, just like every putt was burning edges. And so, you know what? Yeah. And he's feeling good about his game. So I'm with you. I love that play. The other thing to remember about Cantley, I think he made a double on one of the closing holes. So that double cost him a top 10 finish there too. Yeah. So, and if he would have, he had a chance to finish 5th or better. If he would have finished 5th or higher, which he was live to do at the PGA, his ownership projections would be a lot higher this week. Yep. So I like the 23rd there. So yeah, I agree with you on a lot of those plays. Uncle T, what are you doing with the 9K range? Uncle T, first off, if you say Patrick Reed, I'm vetoing. He's not allowed. He's already on the fade list. We just started the playbook. First guy on there, Patrick Reed. We're not playing him this week.
I got good news for you. Patrick Reed will not be in my commentary here. So
let's go.
We're definitely good there, and it was good to see Hoop on a couple of my guys. So I'll start at the top with Victor Hovland. I'm a Hovland guy. If you go back and review these tapes from January to now,
review the film.
On the Tuesdays that I'm here, right, Hoop? So, I had to throw that in to knock myself. But no, Hovland. Again, I think he's just a rising star, as everybody knows. He gets it done, I think, in all facets right now. The one knock that people, and I think it's an incorrect one. It might have been in the past, but not so much now. People talk about how, he sucks around the greens. Yeah, he sucks around, Well, if you look at it recently, he's gained in 4 straight events around the green. So, yeah, is that a small sample? Absolutely it is. But when people say and make a decision, but this is a course where you got to be good around the green and he sucks there. well, you got to go back and do your research because that's definitely not true. He's trending in the right direction there. And really, if that's the only knock on the guy's game, again, he's picked it up pretty well the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm in on Hovland. My decision, Hoop and AP for the week was one of my bigger decisions up top here is Schauffele and Cantley, similar to yours. I'm going to side with Xander. Cantley, I just can't do it yet. I get it. He played and looked a lot better at the PGA, but he still lost strokes putting in 6 or 7 straight events. And I know I mentioned at the Open that putting isn't overly important here, but clearly you got to make some putts. It just isn't the thing here, but I just can't do it with Cantley. I'm going to have to take a wait and see approach with him another week or two. If he gets back on track, maybe I can get on board. But for me, I'll much rather side with Schauffele, who, again, last year, I think he shot 6 over after Thursday, battled back, made the cut on the number, and then finished T13 or T14.
Like the branch.
What's that? Oh, Hoop, you got yourself muted. My bad. Yeah, so he battled.
Hey, Uncle T, real quick. You did see the warning with Xander, right?
No, what was
our guy.
Oh, don't tell me.
Hoop.
Oh, no.
The warning is out. He is on Xander this week.
Oh,
on him?
He's on him. Yep. The
Right.
article is good. If you haven't yet, go and you're a member. Go read Coop's article, and we all give each other crap. It is.
Now I got to regroup.
The Xander thing is a real thing, and so Coop even knows it too. So I'm nervous with him because I want to play him also.
We're on Cantley now, Uncle T. We're on Cantley.
I tell you that it's definitely a factor for sure. If you go back to the track history of Coop, man, he gets one guy wrong, and it's definitely Xander. He does a great job with his article. He definitely is wrong on Xander more than not, but. I'll have to I'll have to rethink that. But as we go down the list here, Matsuyama, I don't know. I'm wanting to maybe buy back into him one of these weeks, coming off obviously the Masters win. That was 6 weeks ago or so. I don't think I can do it yet. Corey Connors, I think he's got 13 top 20s so far in 2021, which is just crazy good. I mean, I don't know. The reason I think I'll be out on him is, again, I like Hovland. I'll decide between Xander and Cantley, and I really love Tony Fino. So I can't play 5-6 of these guys. I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. So for no other reasons, I'm going to have to make some tough cuts. And for me, Matsuyama and Connors will be out, Reed will be out, and Scheffler will be out. But Tony Fino, he led after 18 and after 36 holes here last year and shot 73, 78 on the weekend to finish, what was he, T8. So he shot horribly on the weekend and still finished T8. So that's what
top 10 Tony. That's what top 10 Tony does. That's what he does.
Hold on. I recall listening to the Wednesday show last week, and I don't know if it was you. I don't know who it was, but someone's like, "No, I'm never playing Tony Fino. He sucks."
Well, it wouldn't be me that said never.
You guys were all laughing at. Now everyone's playing Tony Fino. It has me worried, man. Everyone's talking him up.
It's course related, AP. Don't take offense to it. We're back on. Hoops on him. I'm on him, and in a second, I'll let you say whether or not it might be a clean sweep.
Oh, you know I'm on him. Why would I hop off?
He did look good. Yeah, I watched every round last year of that, and he looked so good, and he just somehow just didn't have it on the weekend. Again, he went 73, 78, finished T8 on a tough track. Those greens and stuff on Sunday were just burnt up, and a lot of those guys were having trouble holding the greens and putting. So I don't totally hold that against him as if he completely faded down the stretch. So again, for me in this range, Hovland and Reed Fino for sure. And I got to decide between Schauffele and Cantley now because of Coop.
Fino, I'm on him. My only criticism with him is I think he's too conservative when he plays. I don't think he's risky enough. He's got, he said he can hang with Bryson when it comes to swing speed and all of that, but you never see it. He's not, and so that's my only concern. I don't think he takes enough risks. And when it comes down to it, on that final day, he doesn't get it done. But at 9-2, I don't need him to win. I want top 10 Tony, and I'm going to be overweight. And ownership's going to be spread out in this range and in the next. So I'm not too concerned about ownership. I love Corey Connors, that call. I don't know how, but he's always under-owned when he's like, when
Yeah.
we get these fields where and people just still aren't used to paying $9K plus.
Well,
for
every
Corey
other
Connors.
piece of media around PGA DFS, they for some reason they bash them. I mean, every single week and make excuses and look for reasons to not play him. I mean, to me, it's a very simple play, and it's paid off for what, the last like 5 months.
Yeah. And it's, you got a guy who two events out of the last at least 4, he's made a hole in one. Like literally he's hole in one hunting almost like every par 3 that I see. It's great. No one hits the ball closer. He's up there with actually Morikawa. Both those guys are like, man, when you look at approach numbers and everything, they're right up there. And I agree with, Hovland seems like very safe. Schauffele and Cantley. So I'm on Cantley. I got on him at the PGA and I said to myself, this guy is, maybe he does dress bad. I agree with that. With Big T is always saying that, but he's a good golfer and he missed 4 cuts in a row. I knew he wasn't going to miss another cut. And I think, at that point in time, I was buying low and I'm sticking to that. He will be one of my highest owned golfers this week for sure.
I mean, how long, hey guys, how long does it take for a guy to get over a lady dumping him? I mean, Cantley's lady dumped him, 6-8 weeks
No,
ago?
he's good. He's good now. He's good now.
He's good? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's good.
He just needs to call Brooks. He just needs to call Brooks and have Brooks have Jenna send him.
I mean, if you're not following his lady, they were down in the Bahamas or whatever for like a girls trip, and Uncle T knows. Look at that smile. He knows.
How does AP know all these stories? I don't know how he knows.
Yeah,
Hoop,
you got to creep a little bit. You got to do your research, is what I call it.
You just got to hit the bench. I mean, I'm assuming by this point he's hit the bench at least a couple times. I mean, with something, he's got all this cheese. You better put it to use, and that's all it takes to get over a lady. I mean, you just got to hit the bench a couple times with some different members and get you right back on track. This guy has all the resources in the world, so you have to imagine by now he's turning things around.
So, all right, guys, the one guy that I feel like he's a little disrespected still, Masters winner. And so he fits that mold of, I want a guy who's won a big event this year. I'm on Hideki this week. I think 9-4. If you look at his game's sharp. He bounced. I thought he was going to miss the cut after his Masters win at the Byron Nelson. He didn't. T39. And he actually played pretty well a few of those days. And he followed it up T23 at the PGA at a course that was just playing really tough. So the ball striking is good. Everything is good. The putter is up and down. Again, 9-4. He fits the mold of this course that I'm looking at. I'm looking at ball strikers and then guys like Fino who have good course history and just are playing good golf too. So Hideki is going to make my pool. And so that's where it gets tough, like for cuts. I think I'm cutting for sure Reed and Scheffler. And when we go back to talking about our player pool, I'm trying to make 4 cuts up top because I love this 9K range. I think we could see the winner come out of this range. And I think, Fino, Hideki, Cantley, Xander, Hovland, they have a ton of win upside here, and hopefully it's a Justin Thomas win, but he's just a little bit above those guys. So for me, I'm going to say Cantley number 1 and Fino number 2 for me. Hoop, did you have a 1 and 2 in this range?
Hovland and Fino.
I like it. Uncle T, what about you?
Yeah, I will say this, guys. Scheffler is the one that worries me a little bit. I'm not on him, but I'm a little worried. He's coming in about 7%, and it's probably not the worst course fit here, but I just can't play everybody, so I am a little worried about that. But my number 1 and 2, I got Finau number 1, and I've got Hovland number 2.
Yeah, I like that. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us to keep this, keep us bringing this to you each and every week. Uncle T, I'm going to keep it with you. Talk to us about the 8K range.
Yeah, kind of a strong range for me, actually. Up top, Sam Burns, he's going to be a strong fade for me. Was playing some good golf. And then I think was he the one that had bones on the bag, or was that Max Homa? I think it was Max Homa. But he ended up, missing the cut. I think he withdrew at the PGA with a back issue. So I'm definitely out on him. Joaquin Neiman, I know my guy in chat here. Who was it here? Let me go back to chat. Travis was saying I didn't talk about Neiman. Well, you didn't give me time, Travis. He's in the 8K range. But Neiman, yeah, I mean, he disappointed me a little bit last week. I think he was my pick to win last week, and he finished 50th, made the cut, but clearly kind of faded a little bit on the weekend. I think he's made like 19 or 20 cuts in a row. So, at $8,800, he's got a top 10 here back in 18. Not the worst play in the world, but he's not going to be a core piece for me this week at all. Going down a little bit, I'm probably going to be out on Fitzpatrick. I'll let one of you guys play him. He was playing good there for a while, and we were on him a little bit, but I kind of soured on Fitzy a little bit. I would rather go down to either Cam Smith or Louis Oosthuizen. I know it feels like I've been the only one on Oosthuizen in the last couple weeks, and especially at the last couple of majors. This guy, I think, is just playing some really good golf recently. He's got 3 top 10s in his last 5, and he's usually a guy that will peg in the tougher courses as well. Tough track where you have to grind a little bit. I know there's going to be some birdies to be made here, but you got to just avoid those doubles on this course. So I like Louis Oosthuizen at 8,500. Shane Lowry is another guy I have interest in. Usually a good win player. Last week I played him T4. I think, was that last week or the week before? I can't remember now. Let me look it up. Oh, yeah, at the PGA. Yeah, he didn't play last week. So I had him at the PGA. He came through for me T4. So I kind of like him. And then after that, Hoffman I'm off of, even though I've been on quite a bit lately. And for no other reason, like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to play 5 or 6 of these guys. The main guy I like in this group, guys, is Keegan Bradley. I'm going to be all over Keegan again this week. The one thing that Keegan has struggled with in his career is putting. And if you look at his putting the last, 3 months, his resurgence, if you will, has been because it's not that he's been great with the putter. He's just been level with the field with the putter. He's been like a 0, like I keep talking about. Just putted a 0, like Morikawa. Don't lose strokes around the green. And he's got elite ball striking, similar to Morikawa. So I'm going to be really high on Keegan Bradley. So, and definitely not playing our boy Ricky Flower. So that's kind of where I'm at with this range. Sungjae Im was interesting, but I don't think I can pull the trigger on Sungjae.
You're not going to Flower after his T8 finish?
I'll let you buy back in at 8K.
I'm good.
AP randomly got on. You remember that? Probably like 3 miles.
That was so bad. Oh, man, that was so bad.
Just out of nowhere. You're
right. That was make fun of him for like months in a row and then randomly play him. Oh, man. Yeah, good stuff, Uncle T. I agree with you on quite a bit there. Hoop, what about you? What are you doing with this 8K range?
One thing that I fully agree with Uncle T on, and one point that, I got to do some convincing. You can't let our boy Charlie walk away from you like that. You can't let him. He's treated us well, okay? Just reconsider.
Wait. Are you fading him? I thought you said you're high on Charlie Hoffman.
No, I didn't say fade. I just don't want to play. I don't want to play 6 guys in this range. So
you can't. Don't let him walk. Don't let him walk out of your life. That's all.
Maybe I'll drop Neiman for Hoffman.
I would do that actually. Hoffman's
he's
so good.
Boy. We've been on him. He's treated us well. He's a loyal RPS guy. He's going to treat us well this week. So just reconsider. And then the other thing in this range, Keegan Bradley to me is the most mispriced guy in this field. I would pay the Tony Finau price, I think, for Keegan Bradley, and I honestly mean that. I'd pay the low 9s for Keegan. I think he is that good right now. And like Uncle T said, it's his whole career. It's been putting. He's been one of the worst putters. Well, now he's not so bad. And look at the results. He has been playing some phenomenal golf, and this isn't just like a little stretch. This is dating back to the beginning of March at the Arnold Palmer. Nothing lower than 30th for basically 8 or 9 straight events, 3 months. One of the best golfers right now on tour, and he's 8K. So that's going to be one of my strong flag plants this week. Keegan Bradley. I'm still on our boy Hoffman. There's a guy in this range though that I never play, and I'm going to be on him this week. And Uncle T kind of touched on him, and it's Mr. Louis. I mean, I never play Louis. I've been stubborn.
I'm bored with me, Hoop. I like that.
I'm with you. Hey, you get up back on Hoffman. I'll join you
that.
with Louis. I never play Louis. I mean, I hate playing him, but I'm going to take the L on Louis, and I'm going to get on board this week. And 8.5K, I think, is a fair price tag for him. If this course does play tough, which I think it has a chance to do, he plays really well at like tough courses, grinded out type courses. He's been playing solid golf, so I'm going to be on Louis. The guys that I'm going to have to fade in this range, the toughest fade for me in this range is probably going to be Neiman. I'm a Neiman guy. I love Neiman. But at 8.8, I think I just need to go lower in this range because I like that 9K range so much. So, like I said, that could change. If I'm adding one more person from this range, it's going to be Neiman. But if I can't, he would be my fade. But real strong leans with Louis, Hoffman, and obviously Keegan Bradley. Like I'm going to be very overweight on those three guys. And I feel good. Like I said, this range is probably my most conviction. I feel best about this range.
So can I sell you guys on one guy? You didn't mention him. And I think he's a really good tournament play.
As long as it's not Flower, we're good to go.
Billy Horschel?
It's Billy Horschel. So Billy Horschel's playing good golf relative to him, if that makes sense. He's made 5 cuts in a row. He's not posting top 10s or anything like that, but he's got a lot of history here. T9 in 19, T13 in 20. He's a guy, and I don't see a lot of people talking about him, and he's kind of prodded along. He's had opportunities in a lot of these events. It's always been one round that kind of hurts him. And so if he can put it all together, it's a ball striker course. Billy Horschel's a ball striker, 8-1. I think he's going to land around 5 to 6% owned. And I think he makes it for a nice tournament play. Outside of him, I agree with you guys. Keegan, absolute lock type play. Charlie Hoffman, my other favorite play in this range. I actually wasn't on Louis, but you guys sold me. I like it. He's going to make my player pool. I was between, like, are you guys on Fitzpatrick? Are you going high on him?
No, I'm gonna be off him. The price, I don't know. It's getting. I like playing him when he's in that 7K range, not this upper 8 range.
Yeah, I mean, so why I had him click was he played well here last year. I know it's a different course setup. He's starting to be one of those guys that just tends to pop at some of these tougher events, and he's good on par 4s and he's good off the tee. And so if he brings that part of his game, that's kind of why I was on him. But then Neiman's the other guy, obviously. And so I agree with you guys. So I'm going to be off Cam Smith. I'm going to be off Shane Lowry. I'm going to be off Sung Jae. And obviously I'm going to be off Ricky Flower. So I want to make at least one more cut. But as it stands right now, I'm very high on Keegan. I'm very high on Hoffman. And Billy Horschel is my tournament play in this range. I got to say my 1 and 2, and it's not close, though. It's Keegan and Hoffman. I just think those two guys, like you both said, are playing too good right now. I guess you are not on Hoffman, though, Uncle T, right?
Well, I'm going to put him in there because Hoop recommended him, made some good points. We can't get off of him, and I'm going to put him in there for Neiman. So, yeah, I'm going to get in there and put Hoffman back in my pool.
Perfect. What's your 1 and 2?
My 1 and 2 is going to be Keegan Bradley for sure, and I'm going Louis Oosthuizen number 2. And this could come back to bite me next week on the show. I actually think he's safe, which is kind of interesting because Louis never really been safe, but I just think he's playing a different, he's playing a different confidence level right now the last 6 to 8 weeks. And again, it might come back to bite me, but I think he's safe. And one last thing before we get to Hoop AP. It's not that I don't like Billy Horschel, but earlier today I made a matchup play, Bradley against Horschel. So it's going to be, I got it at 118 on DK Sportsbook, 118 Bradley over Horschel. So for no other reason, I don't want, I'm going to root for Bradley over Horschel.
Yeah, no, and that's a good bet. Here's the thing. Like Uncle T, I'm talking tournament. I'm talking my MME pool. Yeah. I'm overweight. I'm 3x him if I get him at 15%.
Absolutely.
20%. So 3 to 4x. So like, I'm just saying I could see him being one of those plays where he randomly pops, make top 5, something like that gets you over the hump in tournaments. I kind of got him clipped as that type of play. But I definitely agree with you on that Keegan versus him head-to-head, giving a little juice there. I like that play. Hoop, kick it over to you. You're 1 and 2, and then take us into the 7K range.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you. It's Keegan, Hoffman, but I do like Louis as well. Louis would be the third. So it's, feel real good about those guys, like I said. Now, going down into the 7K range, it's going to be a lot of the same guys I've been on recently. Not too much interest in the top. I'm more interested in the bottom. I think the first guy I play in this range is probably Griot. I've been playing him the last few weeks. Snuck into a top 10 last week at the Charles Schwab. He's just been solid. I mean, the one hiccup was at the Valspar, and I believe that was a wind related thing. I could be wrong, but I think he got on the bad side of the draw and just kind of imploded in that second round. But outside of that, he's been very, very steady. So I'll be on Griot this week. Tringali I've been playing, and nothing great last week, but bounced back with the T30 32. And that's probably good enough at his price tag, 7.6K. Stewie Sink, we've been playing a lot of Stewie Sink. I see no reason to not stay on him. I mean, he's just making a lot of cuts. Had the win at the RBC Heritage, but continues to golf pretty well, 37th, 30th at the PGA Championship. I like his mojo right now with the sun on the bag. Just a solid golfer. Matt Wallace, we've been playing. I'll be back on him, 7.4K. Not the greatest finishes the last 2 weeks. PGA Championship 55th, Charles Schwab 56, but he's still making cuts, and he's a guy that can rack up some birdies and stuff in a hurry. So I'll be on him. Charles Schwartzel, I think, is an interesting one. We were on him there for a little while and missed a cut at the PGA Championship, which was a tough test, I guess, for him, and he failed at it. But at 7-4 this course, I'll probably come back. Chris Kirk is one. He's one I have some interest in. 7-3 again. The game has not been great. He was looking good last week, going into that fourth round, and then he shot a 77 in that fourth round. I think that was 7 over. So really killed his week. But outside of that, he golfed solid for the first 3 weeks. Lucas Glover at 7-2. Matt Jones at 7-1. I've been playing a lot of Matt Jones. Missed the cut last week, but I think he could bounce back here. One of my favorites down here, Taylor Gooch, just a guy that makes a lot of cuts. And at 7.1K, you just basically need him to make the cut. And he's had some solid finishes. Only one missed cut in his last 9 and a bunch of top 20s in there. So I think Gooch is a solid play at 7-1. And maybe a little bit of AP's boy Carlos Ortiz. He's back to making some cuts. Hasn't had many impressive finishes, but at 7K flat, I think Ortiz might find his way into my player pool as well.
I think there's a guy that I'm definitely going to sell you on. I don't know if you mentioned him. We'll see. We'll see if Uncle T's on. This dude is an absolute smash play. But Uncle T, what are you doing with this range?
Yeah, this is a tough range, especially up top for me. I don't like as much the top end of this range at all, and it's probably because of the guys that we've mentioned already in the show above them. It's, again, you're just not going to be able to continue to play the top end of all these ranges. Obviously, we got a salary cap, but the one guy that is interesting that I got to make a decision on is Woodland. Now, I've been off of Woodland for quite a while, but it does look like he's showing some signs of life here. You know what I mean? He finished 5th, 38th, 14th, 3 straight made cuts. I don't think I'm going to get there, but I do think he's interesting for sure. I wouldn't fault anybody for going to Woodland. Then I'm going to skip a couple. Scott, Watson, Leishman out. I do have interest in Griot. I was on him last week. And this is another guy that's in the mold of some of the guys we've already talked about tonight. If he could just break even on the greens, he's an elite ball striker. And I think he's been playing pretty well. An 8th, 38th, 14th, he had a missed cut, and then a 2nd. Some of these guys that have had kind of not necessarily breakout seasons, but more consistent seasons, guys that have been on the tour for a while, Charlie Hoffman, the Corey Connors, guys like that are kind of coming to the surface of being, quality golfers. I think Griot could be in that next stage where, again, he's going to just start making cuts and maybe contending a little bit more. So I do like Grillo, definitely out on Jason Day. I know it's his home course and he has a membership or however they, want to say it, but I can't get on board with him at all. JSU's boy, Bazudenhout, he's actually been playing pretty well. He was one of the last guys I kind of X'd out earlier today out of my pool. So I won't fault you for going there. Tringali, if you take out those 4 holes he had a couple weeks ago, Tringali's been really good. He's been a guy that we've been on, and he's been treating us, really well. I know he had a couple missed cuts, but he also had a couple top 10 finishes 3-4 weeks ago. So I do like him. Stewie Sink, we've been on, so I kind of agree with him. The one that you mentioned, Hoop, that I do like is Charles Schwartzel. He, again, had a resurgence where 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row he played really good golf. I'm not going to fault him for one missed cut at the Ocean course, So again, I feel like the price tag is very reasonable and fair, $7,400. I do like Charles Schwartzel. I think the course might be a little bit too long for Matt Kuchar now. I know he's had some good course history here. I just think it's going to play a little bit too long for Cooch. So pass there. And Kirk, I'm going to pass on. I'm going to slightly disagree there. Not that it's a strong disagreement. I've been actually off of him in the 2 missed cuts in the 65th or whatever he had, 69th. And so I have no kind of, kind of notion to where I have to play him because I've been off of him the last couple of weeks when he struggled. So I'm going to be off of him. Brendan Todd is the guy I have a little bit of interest in. He's a guy that usually, and I'm going to talk about a guy here in a little bit as well that's on the same way. But Brendan Todd, he's kind of up and down. He's a streaky kind of guy. Last week, I think he might have found something. A T8 last week, was playing some really good golf, was, kind of in that, 3rd or 4th last group on Sunday. I like Brendan Todd. Matt Jones, I'm on board with him. Sebastian Munoz is a guy, too, that's very streaky, I think. When Munoz kind of picks things up and gets some, good rounds under his belt, I think Munoz kind of bunches his – by the way.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm on Munoz, too. I like that.
Okay, yeah. I just think he plays, good in bunches. He groups good finishes together. And
Uncle T.
Yeah.
Munoz, let's do it.
Let's do it.
You guys are selling me. Maybe.
All right.
Let's go.
Pinsak's gonna. Oh man, Pinsack.
Yeah.
The only reason I can't do Munoz is if Pinsack starts tilting. It's so tough.
I didn't see the tee time Thursday, but if Munoz has an early tee time, what would be the over and under 9 a.m. when DD Pinsack tilts? I'll take the under. So, but the only other guy I got down here, and Hoop mentioned it, is Taylor Gooch. Again, it feels like he's a guy that I would consider playing at 76, 7,700 right now over some of these other guys. It feels like he's underpriced, and at $7,100, he's been making cuts. Not huge finishes, but again, 14th last week for $7,100. I think that's a good price tag on him, and no other guys below that for me.
Okay, so what if I tell you we got a guy who has made 4 of his last 5 cuts, but his last 3 all at tough tracks were all well inside the top 30, and add in the fact that he's got 5 straight made cuts here with a 4th, a 13th, 8th, and also a 44th and a 54th.
It's crazy. It's crazy you're going to mention this guy. He's my other matchup bet against. That's crazy. You're talking about
he's 55 to 1. I mean, when I pull up the DK Sportsbook, I can't even see Charles Schwartzel. I mean, he's 160 to 1.
Yeah.
But he's priced almost exactly the same as Kevin Streelman. I love Streelman. I think he's a fantastic play. One other golf guy who's like on the boots on the ground type of guy. He likes him as a sleep. I don't think he's going to be a sleeper, but Streelman 7.5 is a smash play. I actually love Sink, Streelman, and Matt Wallace all right there. 7.5, 7.5, 7.4. Matt Wallace, another one of our guys, very good on par 4s. That's one thing I'm looking at this week. And Matt Wallace has just been a cut maker too. So finished T4 here last year. So you're going to see a lot of my builds are going to have a common theme to them. It's going to be, and I'm going to add Schwartzel. You guys did sell me on Schwartzel. I'm going to overlook the odds there. I don't really care. If we take away the PGA, this dude is playing phenomenal golf.
I'm sold on. I'm on Streelman. I like that call.
Yeah, I think he's just a good. He played so good last week, and it all started at the PGA. The dude was just a stud, backed it up. Now we go here, a course that definitely fits his game more. So that's why you got to think that Vegas is so high on him, right? I mean, it's just they're kind of being defensive. They know that they know the upside is there, obviously. So
yeah, AP? I think he missed the cut on the number too at the Valspar. So the one cut he missed in this grouping, I think he missed on the number too.
Guys, I'm off though. Like Adam Scott, like he's got good course history here, but man, he's been so bad. I'm on Gary Woodland. I'm off Leishman. I'm off Bubba. I'm off Day. I'm off Bazudno. I'm off Tringali. I get it, man. He's fine. You got to make cuts. It's one of those. I don't feel good about fading him, but I do believe you want a tight player pool. You can't play everyone. He's a cut for me. Max Homa. He's a cut. Max Homa he gets hot and then he gets just like he goes through these stretches where he just sucks. So I'm off him. I'm high on Stuart Sink. I'm high on Streelman. I'm high on Matt Wallace. You guys sold me on Schwartzel. I'm off Kuchar. We got on him for a little bit, but man, we got to stay off. He sucks. He's dust. And Pat Kazire is the other guy that I have interest in. He looked good down the stretch. He held his own. Now, I usually only play him in Texas. I might be breaking my rule this week. I just thought he looked very good. And the only thing that worries me is his teeth, his back-to-back T3 finishes. They're both at Texas tracks, the Byron Nelson and the Charles Schwab. I'm going to have a little bit of him this week. I like where his game's at. I thought he played very good. I'm also going back to Chris Kirk. I hope others will move off. He'll be a nice leverage play. It's not going to take much to get overweight on. He's a good ball striker. And I just think if you take away a few holes, a few stretches last week, he was right there. Same with the PGA. And I'm willing to take that bet. The other guy is Lucas Glover. He kind of rounds out him and Brendan Todd kind of round out this range for me. Glover battled, man. We were all making fun of him on day one. The Krista Glover tweets. He had a brutal stretch there. Our guy battled. T8 finish. The wife was happy. He got treated very well last week with that T8 finish that banked him, I think, a nice $250K, maybe $300K.
He probably didn't see any of that money.
No.
But that she was very happy with that finish. So he's got a lot of momentum coming in this week. And I'm gonna, guys like Harold Varner, who always gets ownership, I'm gonna be off them. Not playing like Aaron Wise, Cam Davis. I'm gonna make a ton of cuts in this range. I'm gonna go heavy on these guys that have just been treating us well. So Matt Wallace, Streelman, Sink, those type of guys. So I think my 1 and 2 in this range, though, I got to say it's Kevin Streelman, and then I got to go Matt Wallace. I love their price tags. I think they're very good values this week. Hoop, what was your 1 and 2?
I'm going to go Gooch and then Griot.
Yeah, I like Gooch too. I'm adding him to my pool. He'll kind of round out that range. I think that's a great call. Why is he always so cheap? He's always like 7.2.
Never gets priced up.
Yeah, I figured after last week he'd get a higher price tag, but he came down to me. He's 7.3 last week. He's 7.1 this week. I don't know. I think again he's pretty mispriced for the recent form.
Yeah, I'm playing him over Harold Varner. Varner's just, I don't know. He always disappoints me. But Uncle T, what was your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, we got Bobby Gomes. Hold on. We got Bobby Gomes in chat talking about Siwoo Kim. Come on, Bobby Gomes. Siwoo Kim, how can you – I wouldn't click Siwoo Kim's name with your money.
Siwoo later, Bobby Gomes.
Come on, Bobby. Slide on in if you want to take Siwoo Kim. I'll take Munoz. I'll take Gooch. I'll take Matt Jones. I'll take any of them. Brendan Todd. I'll take all them guys over Siwoo Kim. But anyway, my number 1 and 2 are down towards the bottom, guys. I'm going Taylor Gooch 1, and I'm going Sebastian Munoz number 2. But I do like Griot.
All right. I got to add Mooney. I'm going to click it. He's in. No one plays him. Like I get, Pinsek. I mean, he's as much crap as we give him for tilting. It is annoying, super annoying, but he's a sharp guy. He obviously gets on good plays. And Munoz is a good golfer, man. He's a stick. So I like that play. Uncle T, take us into the 6K range.
Yeah, now the 6K range, obviously, as we know every week, it's always definitely interesting, right? Hoop and I got our notepad out, waiting for AP's gems down here.
It's got to be better this week, guys. Last week
but
I
actually like a few of these guys, which is interesting. And again, we're all looking at the same type stuff, and of course we've already talked about for the last hour all the plays that are the better plays in this. Now we got to find a couple guys down here we can maybe piece in with a couple, double stud builder or however we want to do it. Troy Merritt, he's got 3 top 10s his last 4 events. Now I don't know a ton about Troy Merritt, just full disclosure. I don't know a ton about him. He's got a 17th place finish here. Again, it's a different course a couple years ago, and he's got 3 top 10s. He's 6,900. I have to have a little bit of interest. The guy's obviously playing some good golf. Clearly, this is going to be a golf course that's going to be a lot tougher than what he's been playing on. But I'll start with him. I'll go down to Alex Noren. I've been on him a little bit, and he's had kind of mixed results. He's had some made cuts, but not overly high finishes. I was on him a little bit last week, and he finished 55th. He's a guy I usually like to target on tougher golf courses, like we've mentioned with so many guys tonight. I like his around the green game. So I will have Alex Noren in my player pool. Hoop, you got to close your ears on this one. I might have interest in Adam Hadwin. I know Adam Hadwin hasn't treated as good when I recommended him the last time, and I'm not saying he's a strong play, but I do have some interest in him down there at 6,800. As you go down a little bit further, Richie Rowinski, again, he's a guy we were on. He struggled for quite a while. Now it looks like he's back playing some better golf. So I'll have some shares of Richie. And then the one thing I do want to get for me personally, I want to get your all's opinion on these 2 guys because they're both $6,500. They come in with great course history, but they're playing awful. And it's Brendan Steele and Patrick Rogers. I'm going to probably go with one or the other, and I don't know what to do because they're in terrible form, but they fit this course pretty nice. So. And then another guy.
Brendan Steele's made 3 straight cuts: 77th, 70th, and 77th. That's impressive.
That literally has to be at the very bottom of the finishes, right?
All right, let me take it a little bit further. He actually hasn't missed a cut in 2021.
Really? Wow.
He hasn't. Yeah.
Those are impressive. I mean, that's tough to do, to make 3 straight cuts and not finish better than 70th.
Yeah. But as you go down a little bit further, another guy, again, just course history-wise, but playing terrible. Benny on 6,400, no thanks. But if you go down, and I'm sure you guys are going to mention him as well, but the one clear misprice down here, and it's going to backfire, but I'm not coming off of him like I did last week with Whaley. Whaley ended up.
You listened to your nephew?
Which one, Tony?
Yeah.
On Whaley? Yeah. I had 5 teams last week. He was on 1.
Okay.
And I wish I would have played him more. So, but Kyle Stanley is clearly mispriced at 6,100. He's made 4 of his last 5 cuts, a 14th, a 26th, and 8th. And he's got 2 top 10 finishes here in 17, 18, and he's 150 to 1 at $6,100. So on DK Sportsbook right now, and I'm not saying he's going to win clearly, but 150 to 1 odds on a guy that's 6,100 on DK. That's equivalent to a guy that's up in the low 7K range. So I don't know. Again, I'm a Vegas guy more than most, but it just feels like he should be $600-700 more expensive. So I see him at about 7 or 8%. He'll be chalky down here if you consider 7-8% chalky. So I do have some interest in Kyle Stanley.
But I mean, all right, was Whaley that? I mean, we talk about PGA ownership, and what happens is when you get all these guys who play everyone in the field, it dilutes ownership. So I'm not really worried about. We talk about it all the time. Like what is bad chalk? Just get overweight that guy. If he's mispriced, I'm definitely going to be hammering those guys. So very interesting. I think there's even one other guy you can make a bet on down here too, but Uncle T won't like it, but I kind of like it. But Hoop, 6K range. What are you doing down here?
Yeah, I like this range quite a bit. I mean, it's been rough down here the last few weeks. We've talked about it on the shows, but this week I think I feel a lot more comfortable with the plays. Obviously, we liked Whaley last week. Kyle Stanley is going to be the Whaley of last week, and I'm fine with it. I mean, it's just a misprice, and in these, I know there's more variance in PGA DFS, but in NBA DFS, when a guy's just simply mispriced, what do? You just load up on them and play them. And, I'll let, I'm sure Big T tomorrow. I mean, Big T loves fading, and it might be right. He always makes the case for fading the popular cheap guys. And, maybe it works. Last week, it obviously didn't with Whaley, but maybe in the long run, that is the right play. But for me, what do you say his ownership is, Uncle T? 7 to 8?
I'm seeing 7.5%.
If that holds true, I mean, no reason to fade him at that ownership. So I really like Stanley, obviously. Just wanted to touch on that first, and I'll circle back to the top. Uncle T mentioned Noren. I'm with him on Noren. I've played Noren a little bit lately. There was a stretch there, 3 straight finishes, top 25 or better. At the PGA Championship, he got T55. His price there was super. He was super cheap at the PGA Championship. And that course obviously was never going to fit him well. The hope was he made a cut and finished like top 30th or something. And whatever, he finished he finished 55th. I'm going to be back on him at 6.8K. Doc Redman is a guy I have interest in. It seems like his game is starting to round a little bit. Yeah,
he's the guy that hurt my feelings last week.
Yeah, I know, but he made the cut for us. I mean, he had a bad round 4. I don't know. I'm going to be on him a little bit, not a ton. Going back to our boy, and it's been a while, but it feels good to finally be back with him. And it's our boy Rowinski, 6.7K. He's a guy. He's turning into a streaky guy where he starts making these cuts. He's made 3 straight cuts. And, all of them have been top 45 or better. Now, that's not saying anything crazy, but he's played at pretty tough events. I mean, the Wells Fargo, 37th, PGA Championship, 38th. Like, he's doing this at pretty good events. So I'm coming back on board with my boy Richie. And like I said, it feels really good. Wyndham Clark at 6.7K. I like him. Patrick Rogers, I think I am going to be on at 6.5K. I mean, I like him at these longer type courses. I think this one fits him pretty well. 6.5K, good tag on him. Nick Taylor, he'll probably be in my player pool as well. And then like we all said, Kyle Stanley, just a really strong guy, just completely mispriced at 6.1K.
Yeah, I agree. For me down in the 6K range, there's some names down here that I really like. Starting with CT Pan, 6,900. We want ball strikers this week. We want guys who are good on par 4s. CT Pan is very good on par 4s. That's where he usually gets it done. And actually, usually, like when you look at a par 70 track, you want guys who are good on par 4s. Go look at CT Pan. Go look at what he does on these par 70 courses. And he gets it done on these par 4s. So he's coming off a T32, T18, and then a T3 at the Honda. And he had two missed cuts in there for sure. But he's finished 44th and 40th here the last 2 times that he's played. So I have interest in him. Alex Noren, I agree with you guys. I don't need to add anything there. I think he's a strong play. Made a ton of – he's a cut maker now. And he hangs in these big boy events. So when we have well-known names in the field, Alex Noren kind of is a guy that thinks that he should be up there. So you always like to see that. I wasn't on Doc Redman. I was like, man, I hopped on him, and he kind of disappointed. He was good at the Byron Nelson, but last week was tough. And, me and Hoop, we didn't talk before this, but I'm going to click his name. I'll go back to him again, even though he kind of let me down. He did make the cut, though. So and we know he has game. We know he has upside. We know he has game. A little outside of the box type play, Martin Laird. If you look at him, 6,700, T23 at the PGA, T38 at the Masters, and he has a couple other decent finishes, and he has good history here. So he's made he hasn't actually played since 2018, but Party Marty has won recently, won last season, and he's just in these big events. It feels like he comes in with no pressure at all, and you can kind of see it in his game. So I have a little bit of interest in him, not like a big play or anything like that. I got Rowinski. I'm with you guys on him. I'm definitely not fading him. He's making the pool. He's going to be at least 10 to 15% in my builds. I usually with some of these lower price guys. One thing I've been doing is my min price guy, my lowest exposure guy, I'm trying to set around 10%. Do you have any rules that you use each week like that?
Yeah, I think that's a good number. And because a lot of the times these guys come in at really low ownership, even, if we're talking them up and everything, still their ownership is in the single digits. So if you're playing them at 10%, you have a good chance of being way over the field on these guys. And, it does kind of depend on your roster construction. Are you trying to get, two top end guys? Are you trying to play two guys in the 10K range? If you're trying to do that, you might have to bump that up a little bit. But if you're getting these guys at 10%, you're going to be over the field for sure most weeks.
Yeah, I like that. And I agree with that too. Patrick Rogers, I agree with you guys. I'm going to be on him. We're on him a minute. He's a course. We played him at a course history type place for him earlier in the year. He did well for us. It seems like he has these courses he's comfortable at. And when he pops, he pops. So I like Rogers. Steele is one guy I really like this week. I just, as we just said, he's made a ton of cuts. The thing that I like about him, we know he's a good ball striker, okay? We know that's the best part of his game. It usually hasn't been the case the last 3 events, but the thing that's been popping for him is his putter. So if he gets it all together this week, he's a guy down in this range with legit top 10 upside who's going to be low owned because of his, what have you done for me yesterday, type mentality. The last 3 events that he's been at hasn't been good. I love him this week. And actually, I didn't notice that he hasn't missed a cut in 2021. So although he sucked the last 3 events and he's done nothing good in his game, hasn't looked good. If you look at a few of those rounds, there's something about making the cut and having a chance. And so I'm willing to pay $6,500 for him. I think he's a good play, especially when you look at his history here. Going down here, one guy you guys didn't mention that actually I have a little bit of interest in, Nick Taylor, Hoops boy Nick Taylor. Wells Fargo, he looked very good at T26. He's a ball striker. No one's going to play him. I'm showing like 0.5% ownership on him. He's a guy that just, if the ball striking's there, he's got some upside. So I like him. And then, for me, we got Kyle Stanley and we have Russell Knox down here. I mean, did you guys see Russell Knox 6'1" too?
Yeah, I did. I didn't mention him, but I did have him marked here as well. He's 150 to 1 as well with Stanley.
I mean, Russell Knox is a guy. This guy's he hasn't missed a cut here. Like he's got at least 5 straight made cuts. T27, T44, 65, 64, and then T18 in 2015. And he missed the cut at last week, but outside of that, he looked good at the Wells Fargo T18. T21 at the Valspar. I mean, here's kind of what I'm tinkering with. Like, you can stagger Kyle Stanley and Russell Knox in your build. So, what I might do is set them at like 30% each, but maybe make a rule that I'm not going to have both of them in the same build because I don't think you'll need both of them. And that way, if one of them sucks and missed the cut, it's not hurting me. I do think these guys have legit upside here. Kyle Stanley, a ball striker. He fits the mold that we're looking for. He's good on par 4s. He's good off the tee. He's good at finding fairways. He's a bad putter, but we've seen bad putters succeed here. So I have a ton of interest in both Russell Knox and Kyle Stanley. And, man, I think, though, when we're talking about kind of a notebook play of the week, I don't want to go with one of those guys. I do want to have some leverage on the field. I'm going Brendan Steele, 6,500. I just think, all the things that we said about him, and then if you look at the course history here, this is going to be a place to where he makes the cut. Maybe his putter's running hot. Maybe the ball striking is back. He gives us very nice upside here. So Brendan Steele is my favorite play in this range. And then my next favorite is just Kyle Stanley, or you can go either way. You can go Russell Knox or Kyle Stanley, but I do have to give the edge to Kyle Stanley. Uncle T, what was your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, real quick and to catch up with chat. Wes Bearden's talking about Kyle Stanley's bad chalk. No way he's going to be 78%. Try 15. Wes, if you don't want to play him, don't play him. I'll take whatever you want on the under 15% on Kyle Stanley. So again, if you don't want to play him, don't play him. But it's a good play at $6,100, just like last week when Whaley was a good play.
I mean, I think he'll push it. If you look at his a second, sixth, third here, people are going to look at that. They're going to look at how he played last week, how he played at the Wells Fargo. His ownership is going to be up there. And
we'll
Kyle
see.
Stanley is one tilting guy, but I think he's a good play this week.
Yeah, and then also Mangone hopped in chat, wanted to let everybody know that we're going on live for the bet side at 10 p.m., which is like 5 minutes from now, with myself, JJ, and Schneider, along with Mangone. So if you're
awesome
premium member, right? Is that premium?
Yeah, that'll be perfect time because we'll be wrapping up here very soon. So
yeah, but my number 1 and 2 in this range is going to be Rowinski and number 1, and I'm going Noren number 2.
I like that. Good call.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Noren and Stanley. Like I said, if you want to fade, Stanley's going to be the most popular guy here, and that's fine. If you're a game theory person and feel like fading is the right move, then you fade. I mean, it's very clear who the highest owned is going to be down here, and it's Stanley. Everyone's talking him up already. The recent form is great. The course history is great. The Vegas odds are great. Everything is in his favor. And everyone sees that. So if you like fading cheap chalk, and it's very similar to the Whaley situation last week, this is the guy to fade. But I'm not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hoop, let's keep it with you. Talk to us about who do you got winning? Your 2 winners this week.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I basically got full wood when talking about Keegan Bradley. So I think I have to pick him as my winner this week. I mean, the win is definitely coming for him. He's just playing too good. He had the second at the Valspar. Give me Keegan to win. I guess he's kind of in the middle. I'll pick someone at the top. I'm going to say Tony Fino. Tony Fino gets it done for us. I think he gets the full bounce back, gets the win. Give us top 10 Tony to win.
I like that. I like that a lot. Uncle T, what about you?
I hate to do it. I got to call an audible because AP, you got to go because he literally just took the 2 guys. So I'm going to either double down on them 2.
Okay, double it up. Let's go.
I can go.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll try to circle back. Those, I swear, I got them both written down. I got Fino up top and Bradley is my second guy. I swear. So go ahead, AP, and I'll circle back.
I mean, just looking at the odds, some of these, maybe these sports books took a beating or something, but I feel like these odds are very defensive. You're seeing a lot of like inside 20-1 up top. So very defensive stance by the books, in my opinion. I'm not going to bet it, but I do like Justin Thomas. I don't think 15-1 is enough, but I do think Justin Thomas, he's tied for second favorite with Victor Hovland, which is kind of crazy up their top. I mean, Vegas is giving Hovland a ton of respect, but then Justin Thomas is right there. So in the DFS streets, Thomas isn't, he's not even the second highest priced guy. We get a nice discount there. So I love that. And then just going down, more of a long shot. Yeah, I was going to say Billy Horschel, but he's only 45-1. I don't think that's enough. We should be getting Billy Horschel at like 70 plus to 1. So I don't really like that. I'm not seeing a ton of good like long shots that I like. So I'm gonna have to go. I like Keegan. I'm with you on that one. I'm gonna have to go with let's go Streelman. Streelman's been up there 55-1. I still feel like we should get more than 55 for 1 on Streelman, but he's right there. He's been there. It's going to click one of these times, and he's going to bag us a nice win. But I will say, I don't really like a lot of these outrights this week. I think Vegas is kind of taking a very defensive stand. I don't think we're getting a lot of value when you're looking at outrights this week.
Yeah, circle back to me. Yeah, to circle
yeah,
back to yeah, I agree with you on no real clear value on the outrights. I definitely agree with that. I'm going to go with Hovland up top. I'm showing him 14 or 15 to 1 on DK Sportsbook. We'll go with Victor Hovland to get it done up top. And then I'll go down to Louis Oosthuizen. And I know we liked him. He's in that range, in that mid 8K range. So we'll go with Louis Oosthuizen since Hoop took both of my guys.
And here's the thing, too. Right? Louis is only 22 to 1. This is a guy that was like 40, 50 to 1. So I think it's just the books took a very defensive stance this week. And
and honestly, to get your ownership, if you will, on Louis from that standpoint is you don't bet him outright because that's a short price, and you play him in DFS at the he's 22 to 1, and he's like the 20th price golfer.
Yeah, I agree with that. With that, boys, great show. I think we can wrap it up. I feel very good about this week. Just a reminder to everyone, the playbook will be out first thing in the morning. Cash chart will be out first thing in the morning. Core plays. Sometimes it depends. We want to check weather and different things like that. Just know that they will definitely be out the night before. Make sure you tune in to the next show that we have going on with the Bets team and Snyder, Dunkel, all those guys. And Mangone, going to be a great show. And then tomorrow we have our the Wednesday night crew, JSU, Big T, and are they bringing on a guest again? Do you guys know?
I don't think so.
Not sure.
But just Uncle T, they're going to get you to come on, and
they'll shame me for
won't let you talk. No, make sure you catch that show tomorrow night. It's always a lot of fun, and a lot of winners are found there. With that, with me, AP, Uncle T, and Hoop, let's all run Pier.